Welcome back to another episode of Will These Comics Make Good Film and Television. We got Marvel, we got DC, and we have Image. Check it out right now. All right, welcome back to Christmas Eve. It is the 23rd right now. It probably won't be released till tomorrow, which could be Christmas Eve. And so we have some stuff to get into here, but I am your host, Frank Zanca. I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode. We're at episode 45 now. We're on 45 episodes of checking out these comics and seeing if some are well-written, some, not so much. But let's check out what we got this week. So I think this is my second batch of the week. So we're going to go into Justice League with Godzilla and Kong. And this is issue, issue 3. So far, this is by Buccellato. This has been pretty good so far. It's been kind of fun. Kind of along that same lines as Silent Night. DC is kind of showing that they can throw the Justice League into mashups all over the place and make it work. I'm all for it. I have no problem throwing the Justice League into stuff and making it work. So we got Santa, and now we have, Monsterverse. It all works out in the wash. So in the previous issues, we started out with them fighting the Legion of Doom. Some of the Super Friends, pretty much, and they find this thing, and Toyman starts messing around with it, and he accidentally, I guess, opens a portal up, and we see Godzilla attacking Metropolis, and Clark is trying to have a nice dinner with Lois, and it just doesn't work out because we have Godzilla coming in the shoreline. And he says, "Look, I need you to kind of turn around because this could be bad for the people over here." So, and Godzilla's like, "Yeah, no, I'm just gonna go trample a few of them, and then maybe I'll turn around after that." So up to this point, we haven't seen Kong yet, but Godzilla's in there, and there's other monsters that have shown up in Themyscira. And then Wonder Woman was with Ollie, and they were supposed to go to Themyscira, which I thought was an odd combo. But they end up finding this island that was just kind of popped up. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's why Ollie's there. He's supposed to go on the island, this is not his first rodeo on a desert island, as a deserted island. So that's kind of where everything was kind of left. And then we start out with this kind of neat page with the Flash running around, which is kind of, the artwork's pretty decent in here. So here's my problem with this, and you're going to know why, especially if you watch my other videos and stuff like that. So we have a crustacean character or monster on a shoreline, right? And the Flash is there, right? Okay, so that's a prison, and he's fighting his rogues gallery that's in prison. But a crustacean character, a monster, and a shoreline. Who should be there with him? 3 guesses, man. 3 guesses. Aquaman. Why is Aquaman not in this? We have a sea creature, and we got the sea. And Aquaman is nowhere to be found here. For the perfect opportunity to bring Aquaman into something, and we get nothing. Especially with the movie out. So this basically becomes the Supergirl episode, because she's everywhere. So she's here helping Flash and Green Lantern, and at least we get Hal in here as opposed to the Sector girl in the other thing, which I thought was also kind of strange if you watch my other review. So Supergirl's here, and then we get this is actually a pretty nice pic of Godzilla there. And we get Atom Smasher shows up. So Atom Smasher is fighting Godzilla, and he's the same height. That's pretty cool. I thought of all the things that they did in Black Adam, I thought that they did Atom Smasher pretty well. So in the last issue, Billy tries to use the lightning from Shazam to hurt Godzilla, and he does hurt him, but Godzilla gets pissed and heat rays Superman that tries to shield Billy, who's now in regular form. He's in child form. And he shields him, but he gets badly, badly hurt. And so Billy's trying to protect him, he feels guilty. He's trying to protect him. He's not leaving Superman's side, who's basically inert on the ground. And Godzilla bites Atom Smasher. That's awesome. Atom Smasher is out, man. He is out of the count. So Hawkgirl shows up and grabs Superman, and she's like, "Come with me, Billy." And Billy's like, "No, this is all my fault. I got to do something." So he Shazams and then hurts Godzilla again, but at least he turns invulnerable, at least. And then we remember that Supergirl was just, a continent away. But now we got Two Fists, and now she's there with Shazam, or Captain Marvel. So now this is the second teleportation that she did from one area to another. I guess they really weren't about collateral damage, because Godzilla knocks out probably about $3 billion worth of collateral damage there. I hope nobody was in those buildings. So meanwhile, then we go back to the Flash and Green Lantern fighting over there. And then we go to Themyscira, where we have Donna and Wonder Woman. I thought this was pretty cool. Trying to get this little woolly mammoth type creature to turn around. And they both, hook their lassos together to make this big long lasso, and they try to almost rein it like a horse, but it just suddenly turns tail and moves. And Wonder Woman says, "Yeah, somebody's calling it," and that's the only time that Supergirl does not show up in the entire issue, where she doesn't teleport all over the place. So again, we get all this stuff with a perfect area for Aquaman to show up. And I'm so disappointed that Aquaman does not show up during any of this. Come on, man. Aquaman doesn't even have his own book at this point. Give me something. So then we have Ollie running from, because remember, he's on this island that's uncharted, that just suddenly popped up. And King Kong is fighting on Skull Island. And Ollie is trying to get away, but not doing a good job. And guess what? Supergirl shows up again. So she's teleporting all over this book. So if I have any kind of critique about this, it's because Supergirl just keeps showing up. Why? I mean, we can't have any other heroes besides Supergirl just show up in completely different places. And how does she even know where to go? I mean, is her super hearing that good that she can pinpoint every single Justice League member? I don't know what's going on. I thought that was very strange. So anyway, then we get to Batman that's now in Metropolis, and now Billy shows up over there. Everybody's kind of teleporting all over the place. And because, remember, he was just in Metropolis. The writer here doesn't care where anywhere is geographically. That she just pops him in. So anyway, they're talking about the big bat that they just nabbed, which was their monster. And they come in, and it's announced that Superman's dead. And so Batman says, no, Superman's not dead. Don't do anything. Bring me to Clark, or bring Clark to me. One or the other, but I will take care of it. So I thought that was pretty cool. That showing Batman. And then we get this end page of Lex Luthor finding this beep, beep, beep thing. And I thought that was it's some kind of desert. I don't know. But it's good, except I have a big problem with Supergirl just popping all over the place and Aquaman not being in it. Those are my two problems with this issue. Otherwise, I thought the issue was pretty good. So would it make a good film and television show? I'd pay money to see the MonsterVerse and the Justice League put together. That's pretty awesome, man. I think they're doing a good job with it. They're keeping it going. They're integrating, superheroes. I liked Hawkgirl showing up, and all this stuff as well. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's decent. And let's move on to Alien, which is a 20th Century Fox Marvel combo. Because now 20th Century Fox, where it used to be, if they licensed something, it would just be Marvel, but now 20th Century Fox is putting their name on everything. And it's because, guess who owns it? Disney. And they're trying to, I guess, get the name out there, especially now with Marvel and 20th Century Fox is basically owned by the same company. So we left off, this is a volume 2. The original volume was a thing that took place in the Arctic, and we had 3 people there. It was a woman, her daughter, and this other guy that was one-armed that we later found out was an android. And she had found the alien. I guess she impregnated herself with the alien, and so she died. And the only person that was left by the end was Zasha, who was the daughter. But now she's named Cole. She's undercover by herself, and her name is Cole. I don't know. Let me, yeah. Now the year is 2208. Zasha is in disguise as Cole. Why would you be using a male name for a female character? That is so odd. It's hard to wrap my head around. This Declan Chabalsky guy, I've never seen anything by him. So anyway, they're trying to get the spaceship out of the ground, but she's really there to try to find the android guy that got left behind in her old home, but nobody knows it's her old home. So all hell is breaking out because they brought in some people to go into the ship as they have the winches pulling it out. But inside, they found a whole bunch of aliens, and the head of the corporation, who's like this Mark Zuckerberg young guy, came in to personally supervise the whole thing. So inside the ship, they're waking up and they realize they're impregnated, and the aliens or the xenoforms are popping out of their chests right and left. And then we have them, I guess a couple of android doctors are trying to examine this guy. He's like, help me, that's what we're trying to do, buddy. We are trying to help you. He's like, no, you're not helping me. Ah! And the guy catches it. So that's an android that catches it. He's like, you're right, I didn't help you. Ain't nothing to be done for you, buddy. So sorry for you. So they're looking for Cole. This is the head of the corporation with the hat on, and so he's like, "Where is Cole?" And everybody's like, "Oh, we haven't seen her in a while." And meanwhile, she's off looking back at her house, looking for the android that she left behind. And so she's in there with a big old gun because she knows that she's about to find some aliens in there. And she puts up a good fight because they do come after her. I'm trying to get the glare out of there, and because it's kind of dark with the alien. There you go. So she puts up a good fight throughout this entire thing as she's basically going through the hall, and she's shooting them in the head, and the acid's flying everywhere, traditional alien stuff. And then she says, I'm boogieing out of here. And then we switch back to them trying to get the winches going with the ship. Meanwhile, I guess the thing that jumped out of the other guy that they were examining, it's already grown up, and the two androids are basically chatting, and he says, I'm going to let it out, but I guess he doesn't need to because it just breaks through the glass, and that ain't going to work out well for the androids there. So Zasha continues to run through the halls, blasting stuff, still looking around for the android, and she's about to get eaten, and something behind her blasts it. And sure enough, it's the android who's crawling around because his whole bottom half is sitting against the wall. So I guess he's been there for a while. So I never understood why the android only had one arm. Why would they have an android with one arm? Why don't they just fix him? I don't know. Like in the first volume, you didn't know it was an android till later on. But again, I thought it was so strange that there was 3 people there and the only male character had one arm. How is he supposed to protect the scientist? Because he was supposed to be there as the heavy, I guess, but he only had one arm. But anyway, it's very strange. So it's okay. There's so many better aliens. Like the last Alien book, I think it was by Philip Kennedy Johnson, was about a group of androids that were tasked with going into an alien thing, and they said you could be free if you go in there and take care of the aliens, the xenomorphs or whatever else. And I thought that was everybody hated that story. I loved that story. I thought that was great. That's one that sticks with me. I'm going to forget this thing in 2 minutes. So there's not a whole lot going on here. There's also an alien that looks like ice, and I don't know, it's kind of gimmicky. So let's see where it goes. But I'm not. I think there's only 4 issues here. I'm not thrilled with it. It's okay. So let's go into Blood Commandment. So this is drawn and written by this Zaman. I don't know what nationality that is. Zaman Kredinsky? I don't know. Kadransky? I don't know, whatever that is. So it's got a very interesting look. This is issue 2. There's only 4 issues. But you can tell, so it's all black and white except for blood that it's red. But you can tell that this guy had a movie script. And he decided to pitch it to, I guess, Image, since if you're an artist writer and you're a decent one or a decent artist, I think you have more of a shot with Image than like somebody like I do, because I'm just a writer and I have to hire an artist, and artists are a lazy lot for the most part. Trying to get pages out of artists on time is like pulling teeth. But if you are the artist / writer, I think that you have a better shot getting something done. So I think he had a script for this, and I think he not only wanted to write it, but I think he wanted to direct it, because there's real extraneous stuff here. So like this whole page, we see a guy shaving and putting on his clothes and gun. That's a whole page. And he tells his wife to go back to sleep. And then we get this nice shot of the fact that but it's a whole page of him getting in the car. And then we get this whole page again of just like eyeballs and him getting in the car. So it's almost like he's got a storyboard of this thing that he wrote, that he's pitching. And, he basically took the whole comic and made it into one big storyboard. That's how I feel here, because the pages are not economical. Like, I don't need all this. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's also a waste of space if you're telling a story. So the last issue was a guy taking his son out to go hunting. The son could not pull the trigger on the deer or whatever. He pulled the trigger and he missed. And he tells the dad that, that I missed on purpose. Are you mad at him? He goes, no, just, you're going to be your own man. You don't want to hunt. That's fine. But he was doing it for a reason, because he knew that eventually something was going to be hunting him. So I guess he's a vampire. And his wife died, but you don't know how yet. And now we go into this, and he was hunting as a vampire, or a very feral vampire. I guess he hunted this wolf, and that's what the guy found, the sheriff found, with a footprint. And then we get, this other vampire that's, I guess, a bad vampire, And there's the guy that he's questioning is having a bad day. He's like, "Are you gonna kill me?" No. Okay, yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Oh well. I hope you said go. Hope you finished up your will, buddy. So the other guy knows. I guess he could smell the guy, or he knows in some way. Like, some of the art is pretty decent. And then we have the sheriff and the deputy, walking around town, and some kids, break the mirror while they're playing soccer. It's pretty, whatever. So so the dad's waiting for the other vampire to show up, and he tells the kid to go, into the secret room. So, meanwhile, the sheriff is investigating the guy that got killed by the vampire. So, that's about the extent of that. And this is like the only real colored piece is the one down there. And I think it wanted to show that the sun is going down. I think that's the whole reason for that. Because the valley he lives in is covered by fog. So he can walk around the little valley, but because the sun doesn't bother that. And again, the guy loves eyes. I mean, there's a whole page of just eyes. He just loves those eyes. That's all extreme close-up, extreme close-up, extreme close-up. And then the vampire pops into the house, and he realizes that they went downstairs to get out, and we get this 2-page splash page of the car crashing through the thing. And I guess the guy watched Lost Boys just a little bit too many times. Because if you notice, there's the antlers, right? If you've seen Lost Boys, you know what I'm talking about. So this same thing happens here, where the guy falls onto the antlers, except he's like, well, you're supposed to aim for the heart, but you missed. So he just pulls himself off the antlers, which I would feel was very hard to do. And then he's got the guy up thing, but I guess the sun is already kind of safe. So, yeah, I mean, obviously he stole that right from Lost Boys, but which is a great movie, even though it's extremely campy. It's a great movie. And so it's in fact, I just bought the David figure, which is the Kiefer Sutherland vampire one. I think that's one of the first times I ever saw Kiefer Sutherland in a film. But anyway, so yeah, I obviously would probably make a good film. I think it's taken from a film, although a very short one, because this is issue 2 and there's only 2 issues left. So obviously everything's going to take place around the cabin. I'll be surprised if it goes outside of the cabin area from this point, because I think the sheriff's going to end up is on his way there now. So the rest of the whole second/third act is probably going to take place in that, between the trees and around the cabin area. I think he made it very contained so that he keeps the budgets down. That's how it feels to me. So anyway, I think so. Yeah, I will see how it goes with this, but so far it's been pretty good. So let's do a recap. So I'm going to say yes to Blood Commandment. I'm going to say no to this version of Alien unless something really picks up, but I don't see it picking up. And I would say hell yeah to Justice League versus King Kong versus Godzilla versus any kind of monster in the universe. All right, well, that's it for me. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, which is right around the corner now. I can't believe the year is over already. I'm trying to finish up my accounting for the year, too. That's not going well. And a lot of stuff that I put off for the whole year. And also remember that I'm going to be doing Lords of L.A. The late pledge is going to be in January. And also Mark Spears and I are working on the new card game that I'm also going to release the first quarter. I did another playthrough today. I have a few more changes that have to be made. So yeah, I'm excited about what's coming up next year. All right, thank you everybody, and again, happy holidays, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Will have a couple more before the end of the year. All right, thanks guys. All right, bye bye.